Right here is Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, the armor in the Rust shooting, which killed Helena Hutchins and injured he was the assistant director. I can't remember exactly what his job was, but yeah, she was the armor in charge when Alec Baldwin pulled the trigger and blasted Helena Hutchins and the director. So why is she in the news? What's her story? Well, we know we got one plea deal out of it, and we know that Alec Baldwin, all of the charges were dismissed against him. His deal for dismissing the charges was, somebody tampered with the gun, and there's a lot of money, and he's a big star, and all this other stuff. But one of the main arguments they were making was that somehow this weapon had been tampered with before the shooting. And for whatever reason, the folks in New Mexico said, it sounds good to me. Let's dismiss all the charges. Well, based on that, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed wants her charges dismissed as well. All charges have been dropped against Alec Baldwin over the fatal shooting of a Rust cinematographer Helena Hutchins in October 2021, and a resurrected version. Phrasing. We don't have a resurrected version of Helena Hutchins, do we? And a resurrected version of the film has almost been completed filming in Montana, but the legal battle could be far from over. As Baldwin is off the hook for now, the person who is responsible for the guns on the Rust set is trying to have the involuntary manslaughter charges still pending against her dismissed by the New Mexico judge, due in no small part to an allegedly incompetent Santa Fe district attorney's office and an allegedly flawed case. Let's embiggen this further. They directed a sloppy investigation in which key evidence was destroyed, meaning the gun. The FBI tried so hard to get it to do what Alec Baldwin alleged that it did. They tried so hard to get it to do that they actually ended up destroying the weapon. So the key evidence was destroyed, made overly aggressive charging decisions, including an elementary constitutional mistake, and undertook road shows to disparage Reed and to promote her own personal brands. Yeah, the original charges included a weapons enhancement that was not even a law at the time the shooting occurred. So they charged them with something that they constitutionally could not charge them with. Lawyers for the former Rust armor Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, charged of District Attorney Mary Carmack Altuis, and former Special Prosecutor Andrea Reeb in a motion to dismiss filed today. Read it here. Because the prosecution was motivated by personal interests, not the facts or the law, it was shaped with the goal of prevailing in the court of public opinion, not a jury trial. Attorney Jason Bowles and Todd Bullion added in the damning 33-page filing. As a result, coroners were cut, and the prosecution team committed other due process and ethical violations. Following the release of an FBI-assisted investigation by the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office last November, Baldwin and Reed in January were formally charged by prosecutors with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter in Hutchins' death. Inching towards a much-delayed preliminary examination, aka mini-trial this summer, Reed is looking at a maximum of 18 months behind bars and around $5,000 in fines if a jury eventually delivers a guilty verdict on the current charges. She has pled not guilty. Now, Reed's lawyers lay out a litany of failures, face plants, and GOP political maneuvering that found the local DA clearly out of her depth. Add to the fact the gun that Baldwin was holding during a Rust rehearsal that killed Hutchins and wounded director Joel Souza has been damaged after testing by the FBI. The whole thing is a mess. And now Special Prosecutor Carrie Morrissey and Jason Lewis, who joined the case in late March, made pretty clear last month when charges against the Oscar-nominated actor were dropped. So yeah, they talk about all of these things here. Then maybe it's not whether with their April 20th pledge that Baldwin is not absolved in this matter and charges may be refiled. Yeah, what do you think the odds of that happening? The odds of them refiling charges against Alec Baldwin? Don't bet on that one. Whether Judge Sommer decides to dismiss the charges against Reed or consider lesser sanctions, as today's filing offers as an alternative, Rust looks likely to still be in the courts for some time, or another for many months to come. In some form or another for many months to come. So that's where we stand with her. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed sort of relying, once Alec Baldwin filed his motion and made all of these arguments about the evidence and specifically the gun, she's saying, hey, I want that same thing myself, apparently. So she's relying on that argument, saying, all right, why you dismissed the charges against him, so why don't you just charge them against me as well? Stand by for more updates as the summer goes.